Well, thanks for joining us today, Pietro. We're excited to have you to speak a little bit more about your guys' journey in crypto. Can you first just tell the audience a little bit more about Shift4, what you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, thank you so much for having me. Super thrilled to be, not only working with you guys, but also to be telling our story and our foray into crypto. Shift4, typically known as a more traditional acquirer, and we have, a few core competencies, mainly started in the restaurant and sort of hotel businesses, and have expanded that out to include more high risk, more like casinos, airlines, gambling, and have now started to take a really serious look at crypto. We are now a global firm through acquisitions, process about $200 billion of volume just domestically in the United States, but have really taken sort of an innovation-first approach from the acquiring side. And I guess to summarize how we would maybe describe ourselves, really think of us as a vertical integrator. We try to own as many pieces of the transaction flow or process as we can to create efficiencies and then also compress margins for our clients.
Got it. So you have this track record of new frontiers and breaking into new areas. So how did that impact why you guys decided to make the push into crypto? What sort of use cases you saw? What was that decision process like?
Yeah, I think that's a really awesome question, and it starts in a place that maybe isn't so intuitive, but it started with philanthropy. So our CEO, who I give a lot of credit to, Jared Isaacman, was actually on a space mission that he flew with SpaceX with all civilian astronauts, no formally trained professional astronauts, went to space, and they donated, I think they raised over $250 million for St. Jude's on that mission.
Wow.
So
amazing.
From that, Shift4 started to look at acquisitions. We have a history of M&A and acquiring technology or talent that we think is really relevant for the business cases and lines that we serve. And from there, they acquired the startup that I was at previously called The Giving Block, which was a crypto donations platform that has raised hundreds of millions of dollars for charity. What that acquisition did, I think, was really 2 for 1 in the sense that we were acquired to help build out the nonprofit vertical at Shift4. There's a ton of card acquiring in that space. And then also crypto was our core competency. And really, I think we have a great team that's suited to building out a network of crypto merchants and also understands sort of the payment process and on and off ramp flow, right, given that our inherent product was an off ramp for nonprofits.
Right, okay. So you'll have a really unique perspective from The Giving Block. I mean, the obligatory panel question is always about payments and crypto and how people do they work or what will it take for it to work? I mean, The Giving Block was making it work in one vertical. How does Shift4 now look at it as the broader company is going into crypto? Do you guys see payments as a thing? Is that part of the reason why you're coming into space, using crypto as a payment method, et cetera?
Sure. Yeah, I think it definitely is part of the roadmap and it's part of the strategy overall. I think when it comes to crypto payments as a use case, it's probably on the longer tail of the adoption curve. Right. I think ever since I've been in the space, people have been always pining for the day where you could pay for crypto at your local, for your local coffee, right, or for something that you're transacting dollars for goods and services. And I still think that is something that demand will give us sort of the timing on. Mm-hmm. It's something that we want to keep our ear to the ground on. As it turns to crypto generally, though, I think Shift4 recognizes that the crypto processing space, I think, has been, or crypto merchants generally have been underserved by the market generally. Right. And we feel like our expertise in both the high risk category, which a lot of people associate crypto as high risk. That's right, certainly an area for debate. But I think that we have a few kind of inherent advantages over some of the players in the space right now. And we recognize that even as a company, we want to diversify our portfolio and our book of business, right? We think that we're really equipped in some of those more traditional categories, but crypto represents an opportunity where you're kind of taking advantage of all of the vertical integrations that Shift4 has built, one of which is even owning our own bank in Europe. So when we think about the global nature of crypto, right, it moves with the internet. Right. We're trying to keep pace and offer it in as many jurisdictions so merchants can grow without the limitation of their processor or their vendor on the back end, right, really keeping up with the pace of the environment.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point of crypto, to be global, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Great, so you guys have decided to offer crypto. You have The Giving Block. As Shift4, as a broader company gets into the space, there's always the buy, build, partner decision. You talked about acquiring a bank. You talked about vertical integrations. You've chosen to partner with Zero Hash. We're happy to have this partnership, but just curious how that decision process worked, why you ultimately sort of decided on partnership to start off.
Yeah, I think when you look at the history of Shift4, we definitely have a history of buying and acquiring assets that we think are advantageous to add to our book or our portfolio. I would say that in addition to that, we also recognize where there are best-in-class experts in a certain field and want to play to the strengths of those folks if we can or have the option to. I mean, when you consider, I think, where we would be without our partnership with Zero Hash, we'd probably be in a development phase for a couple of years. And what we recognize, given the market environment that we're in now, and I'm sure we'll talk about that as well, is that it is much more advantageous to let the experts do their thing and let us be the experts in certain other parts of the process. We feel like the opportunity with Zero Hash that we presented, and we canvassed the entire ecosystem of potential options and vendors, we felt like not only was the team the right fit for us in terms of the pace of play that we hope to build at, but also in terms of the breadth of the product offering. Certainly, I think edified our approach to the space and made us feel much more comfortable. Even though we could have opted to build something, we felt like this was definitely the right path forward. And quite frankly, we've been thrilled so far. So things have been awesome.
Obviously, crypto's had its cycles since it's been around, as they call them, the crypto winters. This one seems a little bit more intense in terms of, especially in the US, the regulatory pressure, the bank runs. There's a bunch of a confluence of events, if you will. Has that impacted how the exec team at Shift4 has looked at the space and your appetite to move fast?
I think that regulation has always been either the tide that lifts all boats in crypto or the hammer that comes down very intensely on the industry. We have not wavered in our commitment to the space. It has presented some challenges, but I think more than anything, it's actually, we walk away with an optimistic take on how regulation is developing, at least in the United States. We have a lot more clarity in Europe and feel very confident about our business operations there. And I'll tell you what, I think our exec team and leadership team recognizes really that we might be earlier to the opportunity than even they may have thought initially, which gives us a lot of positive feedback to recognize that when things do become kind of business as usual, like we would with other categories, that we feel like we want to lean in even harder right now, because crypto has never been the industry where the late adopters have benefited the most. We feel like we want to really cultivate those relationships with merchants not when business is easy and when things are maybe marginal tweaks. We want to be there for them when they're down, and we recognize that opportunity, and even working with you guys to really build something where the foundation's very strong for when that upswing comes back.
Good. So you guys are partnering with us. We're excited about us. Can you tell the audience what Shift4 is actually building in this space?
Yeah, I think we're thrilled to be working with you guys, because what we think the result will be is what we hope a best-in-class vertically integrated crypto on and off ramp with a fiat on and off ramp as well under the hood. Yeah. What you see in the industry right now is a lot of fragmentation, a lot of folks doing one piece of the puzzle. Maybe it's an on-ramp for crypto, but it's powered by a Shift4 or somebody else as an acquirer on the back end. You introduce so many middlemen or players into that pie that you end up increasing margins. The customer experience is a little more expensive than what we think could otherwise be the case. And so what we're going to be bringing to market is version 1, acquiring for crypto merchants globally, and version 2, a vertically integrated crypto on and off ramp that, with the help of Zero Hash, I think will be not the first of its kind, but certainly the best in the world in terms of fees and approval rates, which are the things that we can manage ourselves. Yeah.
Great. No, I mean, I'm super excited. I previously have worked for Coinbase, and the exchanges have served as an on-ramp into the ecosystem. But I think it's critical that Shift4 type companies are coming in for real utility, for the person who's not looking to trade or speculate, but to actually use the asset for utility. And I'm just really excited about this vertically integrated product, and it's going to do really, really interesting things in the space.
I couldn't agree more.
Cool. Thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.